Genetic part of it, we disclosed this in the 90s. What she's talking about is that they have taken material, genetic material, and created, and where she's confused, they've created the creatures that look like aliens that aren't, that have been involved in abductions, but also in some special operations and in deception. So this gets into a very deep end of the pond of how do you set up a believable false flag and operations that looks like it's alien when it isn't. Now, I said back in the 90s that the first cloned mammal or higher life form was not dolly to sheep in Scotland a few decades ago. Those programs have been going on since the 60s, 70s, 80s in these covert programs dealing with this issue, and very high tech. Now the result of it, some people have called these a man who worked in a facility in the United Kingdom at Peasemore Air Force Base. They were called program life forms. So they are these sort of like creatures. They're not human and they're not extraterrestrial, but they're man-made, and they pass very, very well as an alien. Now, fast forward to the use of those on things that look like a UFO, right? And these can be circular or octagonal or triangular aircraft that are anti-grav, and everyone who would see one, including the president and members of Congress, said that's an alien craft. Well, it's not. It came out of the Lockheed Skunk Works or Raytheon or Northrop, and on board some of them in certain operations are these fake aliens that engage in these abductions and mutilations. And this is the core of the whole scam, is a long-term psychological warfare program to convince people there's a threat from outer space. That's what Werner von Braun said. The guy who invented the rocket for Adolf Hitler, on his deathbed, said that to Carol Rosin and warned that this is where we were going with this. So here's the big problem. There's a truthful disclosure that unpacks all the deception, and then there's the fake disclosure like you saw this week up on Capitol Hill. All right. And the fake disclosure is actually engineered to bring the subject out, but within the context of it being a threat. Well, the only threat, I mean, if they were extraterrestrial threat, we'd be done. The only real threat is from this illegal covert organization that have technologies thousands of years more advanced than the mainstream government military have, but also have these other technologies, genetic, electromagnetic warfare devices that affect consciousness and what have you, kind of like the Havana syndrome, but much more advanced. So you have a group of unsupervised people that have this whole constellation of technologies that are being used in malicious ways. And they're clearly illegal. And this is why this has to get unwound and stood down. Very, very important. And we haven't begun to scratch